Shiva in an equal stats martial arts setting?
Okay, so my character is Takamura. We're doing equal stats martial arts for this debate. My opponent Zizou, he's taking Shiva. The reason why I think Takamura wins is because I think that Takamura has infinite potential abilities, and I think that there's probably something he can potentially do which would beat your character. So as long as it's not like a contradiction of me beating your character in a fight, I think Takamura would just win.
You think Takamura has infinite potential, and because of that, he'd win the fight?
Infinite potential abilities, yeah.
Infinite potential abilities? Okay. For one, what does that mean before we talk about that? What do you think that means? Infinite potential ability.
The capability to do anything.
Okay. What's your justification for that?
Stated by the offer.
Show me that. Further, yeah.
You can just check the fan book for Killer Peter from Sakamoto days. You can literally just see that he has infinite potential abilities.
Okay. So I feel like you're misunderstanding how those data books work. I'll explain to you why, like, this is stupid to use. Excluding the infinity, I'm asking this question. The chart, like, what does it go from? Like 1 to what? Like 1 to 5?
The highest number we see, which is a finite number, is a 6, I believe.
Okay, so out of 6. Okay, so what does 5 potential ability mean? Like, I'll ask you this question. Explain to you why I'm asking in a second.
Well, 5 potential abilities for that stat chart, it's going to be a cross comparison to say that the quality of their potential abilities in combat, like how strong they could become, is just going to be a 5 in comparison to other people in the
Exactly.
fan book.
And my response here is that when it says, oh, he has infinite potential, or he has an infinite claim, it's not an absolute claim, but rather a relative claim. Just simply saying that compared to everyone else, he significantly surpasses them. And because of that, he has this infinite like potential thingy because he doesn't compare to the other stats. That's kind of what it's. Rather than like him literally having like infinite abilities and stuff like that, it's simply just saying that like he's just a lot better.
Well, infinite isn't a finite number. You could just say that he has like a 32 of his potential abilities is that.
What does that matter? It being finite or not?
Because that's a poor representation of the point you're trying to get across. It would be better and it's more expected if the character has finite abilities that you would just say that it exceeds the stat chart or it's like a 32.
Wait, repeat yourself?
Because it's the worst representation. If you say it's infinite, that's more in line of saying that the guy actually has infinite abilities instead of just saying,
I disagree with that. That's begging the
well,
question.
well, no, that's not begging the question. I'm saying that one represents one idea better than the other.
No,
That's
no,
not
you
something
saying
you put
that
into question.
you saying that infinity here like would represent someone with infinite potential or infinite capabilities is what I'm putting into question. That's for one. Two, the claim that you're making right now, which is that, oh, like what if it's like 32 or something to show that it's incomparable, doesn't align with the view. And in fact, I would argue that infinity would make it a better comparison relative to the verse because infinity as a value is not comparable to the number 5. So it further support my claim of him being incomparable to the rest of the verse, which just means he's a lot stronger than the rest of the verse. And that's why he has the infinity stats. In fact, the little translation box right under it, if you actually translate it, it says, as the strongest swordsman, his skills or limits can be measured in numbers, further satisfy my claim of him like just being the strongest. Like, and the justification for it is that he's the strongest, like, and the flowery language for it, like, further like supports what I'm trying to say, rather than like him literally like having infinite potential.
Well, no, if anything, that just supports my idea more. So you said that I was begging the question earlier. That wasn't a begging the question fallacy. What you're talking about there is me just repeating that this thing better represents my idea as a justification for why it's my idea. But no, what I'm saying here is if you're trying to get across the idea that this guy has finite power or whatever, or finite abilities, you would just use like a very great number. Like maybe you would say it's so great to where we can't measure it on the stat chart because it exceeds the limits of said stat chart. But if you're saying that it has the infinite symbol, and then you're also saying at the same time that the skills are so great, the power is so great that it cannot be measured numerically, those are two different indicators which support the idea of it not being finite, rather being infinite as what I'm trying to argue for. Additionally, the reason why I believe it's more in line with what I'm arguing for for is because there's this consistency where if an author is trying to convey a specific idea, they will demonstrate attributes of this idea that they're trying to convey, and obviously more of those attributes is better for communication purposes. For you to dumb down those number of attributes just makes it worse for communication. So given that I don't think an author wants to miscommunicate to the reader and potentially cause confusion, I believe that it's more likely that my interpretation is true in contrast to yours.
I mean, one, it's not about confusion. Two, this is extra source material, which isn't really like reader's interpretation stuff anyways. Furthermore, to talk about what you're trying to argue for, which is the whole like, oh my god, like he has infinite stats here, and like if it was the case that they just want to say like he's incomparable to the rest, they could specify that. Not necessarily. One, data books love to always use these like colorful, like flamboyant ass language to like exaggerate their claims. Like for example, and I'll give you a good example. Naruto has like exaggeratory claims, like the Nine Tails being able to like burn the world to ash. All claims are like that in various data books. So I don't see an issue with them using infinity to symbolize or denote that Takamura is a lot stronger than a lot of these characters, rather than simply saying that like, oh, he literally has infinite stats. Because the issue is you're presupposing that infinity here is a quantifier value rather than a symbolic value. And I'll explain to you the distinction. Let's say, for example, someone has 5 martial arts. That isn't a quantifier because it's not saying that he has 5 like different like martial arts. Like he has like the number 5 like martial arts, like 5, like 1 martial art, 2 martial art, 3 martial arts. Rather, it's symbolizing that he's really good at martial arts, like, amazing at martial arts. Similarly here, when someone says like he has infinity of like potential abilities or infinity martial arts, it's not saying that he literally has like infinite amounts of martial arts, but rather that like compared to the rest of the verse, he's like the best to the point where like, it's not even comparable. That's what I'm putting into question here, and I'm saying that you trying to use that the whole idea that it's numeric, or saying that if someone had infinite potentials, they would denote it this way, is begging the question. That's the problem that I have. I don't think you really addressed what I said.
Well, no, it wasn't a begging the question fallacy, because originally you thought that I was saying in response to your question, why is it actually infinite and not just the best out of all the other ones in comparison to the rest of the verse? What I was saying is that given the language itself and the demonstration itself of what the stat chart is, it seems to be more in line with the idea of it actually being infinite rather than finite. So
again, that presupposes that infinity is a quantifier.
Let me hold on just 1 second before you respond to what I'm saying.
Quantifier, by the way.
Assuming that infinity is a quantifier, sure, I can talk about that in a second, but I'm just giving you a recollection. Okay. Beyond that, the issue is that I'm actually talking about the attributes of the stat chart, which is what I was doing back at the time. So I was not begging the question, I was making a new proposition with new content within said proposition about why I believe that this thing is specifically the case. Now, beyond that, when you're talking about the Nine Tails, I think that the analogy that you've brought up is a poor analogy, because you're specifically talking about a being that's kind of inconsistent with the facts. Someone saying that the Nine Tails can destroy the world or blow up the world, I assume that you're saying in the verse of Naruto, everyone understands that the Nine Tails doesn't actually have this capability, because maybe its tailed beast bombs can only destroy like a small village or a country at maximum, but not the entire world. That seems inconsistent with what we've seen. So that seems to be a poor analogy, whereas with this, we haven't really seen anything in terms of Takamura's abilities which would run contrast or contradictory to that. Because if someone has infinite potential abilities, you can simply just say that they haven't demonstrated this thing on panel, so I don't think that this virtue of consistency which you're arguing for is good. My thing seems to not really have those contradictions, so the epistemic virtue of consistency is fine on my side.
Oh my god.
Now beyond that, I have a small question. You said that for the external source material, it isn't really reader interpretation. I'm going to ask you what you mean by that. I think that's kind of a crazy thing to say, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's why it ties into the analogy I gave you, the Naruto shit. I'm not, like, you completely strawman the fuck out of the analogy and didn't understand it. All I was just trying to say is that it's not like you use, like, standard reader, like, interpretation and just take everything at face value. But rather, those statements and those data book statements are consistent in using, like, extremely flowery, like, hyperbolic, hype-up language, like, further advertise, like, their series of material. So I'm telling you that, like, the Naruto example I gave you wasn't to show like inconsistency or like proving a data book is wrong. But I'm giving you an example of like how data books use extremely flowery material. And I'm saying that I'm tying this back to this Takamura shit to just say that infinity here isn't actually like a quantifier to say that he has infinite martial arts, but rather it's a symbolic value. It's a symbolic value, and what I'm putting into question is what that symbolic value. In the same way that 5 isn't like literally having 5 martial arts, but rather symbolizes someone being really good at martial arts. Infinity here doesn't literally mean an infinite or uncountable or like not finite number, but rather just a symbolic claim that Takamura is like the best in the verse. That's literally all it's saying. And then that's why I was telling you that the reason why you were begging the question, because your interpretations and the claim you were making to justify the likelihood already beg the question because they invoke that loaded premise of it being a quantifier already. That's the problem that exists. So I want a justification on why I should take it into account as being a quantifier rather than it being a symbolic claim. And don't say again it's because it's the most like understandable or digestible thing, because I already justified to you how a lot of data books use extremely loaded, like extremely hyperbolic, extreme claims.
Yeah, so I'm just going to respond to that. So obviously infinite martial arts doesn't literally mean you have an infinite number of martial arts. That seems to be ridiculous. I would honestly say that that's probably a contradiction, at least like given how like the world works from my understanding. But beyond that, the more relevant aspect of this is for 5 martial arts, you wouldn't say that 5 martial arts is literally just 5 different usages of martial arts or 5 different styles of martial arts. You would say that the 5 there is in reference to the other people within the verse, the level of skill and potency with these martial arts. I think that the reason why this thing is called infinite is because this is the best thing that it could possibly be. It could possibly go up to infinite potency with martial arts. Because I think it's possible that your martial arts are actually at an infinite level of how potent they are.
Like infinity is a quantifier.
And why would infinity not be a quantifier? What exactly is your issue with that?
I just told you why. I'm telling you that values like these aren't actually like counts of how good his martial arts are.
Hold on, I'm going to respond to that. Hold on, no, it's fine. Hold on 1 second, I'm going to respond to that. The issue is with that when you're talking about the Nine Tails is going to go on a rampage and then destroy the world, I have a basic understanding of the Naruto series. I can probably understand where you're going at with that. Yeah, there's probably some given context, and you can send me the Naruto databook scan if you want, because we can just go over this, because it'll be a better example. The reason why we understand that to be flowery language or a hyperbolic statement is because there's some supportive context which would go against the main literal interpretation of the statement that the Nine Tails is going to go on a rampage and then destroy the world. Because we know that when the Nine Tails is running around, it's not just blowing up everything in sight. It does stop destruction at some point. And it also doesn't seem to have those destructive capabilities that you would expect to see from a creature that can actually destroy the world. So that is why I think that that is an example of a hyperbolic statement, right? There is some supportive context there. However, that's inconsistent with this specific point because we're saying that Takamura also has something within his arsenal or something that's shown within the verse which would run contrary to the idea that Takamura actually has infinite power or infinite capabilities. Now, I'm just going to say this, there's really nothing that goes contradictory to that. We can go straight up through that, and if anything, there's only things that might support the idea that Takamura might have those abilities. So what exactly is your response to that refutation?
Yeah, so two things. One, your response completely brushes over the whole quantifier thing again. Like I've still yet to like wait for a response on that. Two, if your idea of like
let's just go through that.
Let's
go through two in a second.
Let me finish. No, you made a second. Okay, if you want to go through that, then you drop your hyperbole thing because we're not going to address it if you want to go through that. Are you fine with that?
How about you just say your contention? Actually, just say both.
Okay.
But then I'll address the first thing. That's fine.
Okay. So for hyperboles, the idea of you deciphering or concluding that hyperboles are only hyperboles based on the fact that there exists a contradiction for them is retarded. We don't say that, oh, this is a hyperbole because there's a supported context that contradicts it. Maybe in debates people say that to like make it more digestible, but usually when people read something...
Name a contradiction that doesn't abide by that. Go ahead.
What?
Name a contradiction, not a contradiction. Name a hyperbole statement that goes contrary to what I just said.
If I read a statement in a book in a vacuum that's like, oh, this guy had the strength of 1,000 lions, I assume that's hyperbolic given the exaggeratory tone of it. We use
that's exaggeratory because you understand that this man, based off of what we've seen, he's portrayed to be a regular man, and he does not actually have the strength of 1,000 lions. That's inconsistent with some facts.
Hold on, let me finish. The problem is that unless like characters are determined to be like God or like omnipotent beings in the verse, which for the record, Takamura, by the way, is not. Like he's not this type of God. Even if you want to say, oh, it's only potential, all of his stats are infinite. He's not like portrayed to be God like this omnipotent being. That's just not the case. He's portrayed to be the strongest, yes, and that's supported by the narrative, but they don't say that he's like this
he's
god-like
meant to be mysterious, so that's not really a good response.
That doesn't matter.
It does,
doesn't
because if
matter.
we don't understand Takamura, we can't say that he's not meant to be at a specific level.
Because that's not the point I'm trying to make. Because him being mysterious doesn't explain why someone who's not just proves my point even more, because that would mean he's not depicted as an omnipotent god like being in the verse. They just say, oh, like everyone knows how strong he is, but like nobody knows where he came from. He's like a ghost in the verse. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're going to use that to say that this guy is like fucking like not like number one on the verse, like he's infinite.
No, there's multiple mysterious people that are meant to be portrayed to be very powerful. That's not a good argument.
I don't care about very, very powerful. Like I'm saying that like if you say like
it could support the idea of godlike power though, even if they're mysterious. So that's why it's not a good response.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Sure, I'm just saying it could happen though. That's the whole point.
Because I mean, I would argue like his ontology would literally not be contained in the verse. Like he's like a fucking like human being, like assassin at the end of the day. But I want to focus on the main earlier point, which is the whole quantifier thing. Because if you don't focus on the quantifier thing and explain to me why I should believe that infinity here is not a symbol for him being the strongest, rather than like a quantifier for like a value, I don't have a reason to take it as like literally like having infinite.
So what exactly are you looking for, though? Because I've already explained how it could be like that. If you have infinite martial arts, and we've already... What? Well, okay, go ahead.
I don't care about what it could be like. I'm asking you right now. We're looking at the scan together, right? And I'm telling you, this infinity isn't like literally like he has infinite amounts of fucking martial arts and infinite potential. All I'm saying is that all infinity here represents is that he's just really fucking good, like in the verse. Like he's the best in the verse. Like he can't be compared to anyone else. And I'm saying that my reasoning for that is when we look at all the other values, they're also all symbols. So for me to all of a sudden change from symbolic numbers to quantifier numbers or numerical values for numbers is super like ridiculous for me, and I need some reason for it, and I'm asking you for it. And you haven't given
Takamura is
it.
obviously the exception, considering how this guy is literally portrayed to be like God of the verse. Nobody can understand what Takamura is or what kind of creature he is. That's not a question beg. No, that's not a question beg. I'm talking about Takamura's attributes. You're saying you don't see why this thing will randomly go from a finite value to an infinite value. I'm explaining why Takamura is the exception to justify why he's going to be some special case for why he has these quantifications. But hold on. To respond to your other point.
Also him being the exception also. Yeah, him being the exception also falls like within my interpretation. Like I don't know why I brought that up. Like him being the strongest would make him an exception by definition. If he's so much stronger,
the whole issue you're presenting is that this guy isn't actually like this because you're saying he's not portrayed to be a godlike or very severely powerful character. But when I'm saying that this guy is so powerful and so misunderstood that nobody really knows what Takamura even is, then I don't see any issue with Takamura's portrayal to not basically be godlike once we actually understand what he is like when we actually read through the fan book.
That's a blatant straw man. Because the reason why it's a blatant straw man is because I didn't say that he isn't portrayed to be very powerful. Of course, he's very powerful relative to
That's not what I said. You just straw man me while claiming I made a straw man.
You said that, but like I'm saying that he isn't like portrayed to be like literally like omnipotent, like or anything like that. Like, and he's still like a 3D human being. So this idea like that, oh, like he's like portrayed to be omnipotent rather than being the strongest in the verse is an extraordinary and unusual claim.
940.
I want extraordinary and unusual evidence like for it. Sorry, Jester.
Well, the evidence is going to be the interpretation of the statement, which I'm going to go through and give my supportive reasons.
Yeah,
I've already given some of them. But beyond that,
hold
on just 1 second. 1 second. Would you say for the Prince of Egypt, if we see at the start that Moses is walking around... Why are you interrupting me? I'm going to give you an example. Yeah, because this is important. I'm talking about a character that at face value, we don't really see that this guy is extremely powerful if you're like a character within the verse. Ramses, Moses' brother, who literally sees Moses run around, he thinks that Moses is just a regular human being. He doesn't actually have godlike or supernatural powers. But it's because he actually has the power of God, because he's the messenger of God in the film, that he's able to do things like turn a staff into a literal snake that's able to kill other fake snakes. And it's actually far more powerful. He's able to cause fire tornadoes. He's able to literally split the sea in half so that the Jewish people, not the Jewish people, but I don't even know what they're called. The whatever the fuck Moses' people are called in that film. They're able to literally just escape because he split the sea. What were you gonna say?
Dude, like for one, I want you to stop rambling for a second because...
That's not a ramble. Do you not understand my point? I'm saying that this guy at face value does not seem to be that strong. But later on, once we see the evidence, that's why we believe that.
I haven't given my response. Wait, let me give my response.
Go ahead.
Okay. Before I even like address this point, I'm saying that your point hinges on the previous burden I put on you. Can we just steelman this point and just get on with it later for the sake of fucking
Sure. Go
a linear
ahead.
debate? Okay. So what's your justification for your interpretation of it being a quantifier rather than a symbolic number?
The reason why I believe it's a quantifier is because I think if you're just saying that it's infinite, and you're not even filling up the stat chart in a way that actually does support the idea that it's far greater than the other ones, one interpretation of infinity is actually undefined, which you'll see in other fucking fan books or data books, I'm pretty sure. But you'll see that people literally break the stat chart in the Sakamoto Days verse. So when you're trying to say that they just can't contain it, well, other people literally break the stat chart in this verse. So why exactly is Takamura the exception where we can't say that he's going to break the stat chart as well? So we have to restrict his stat chart to a finite amount where it doesn't even break the corners. That doesn't make any sense. Check general. Nagamo literally breaks the stat chart. He goes outside of the perimeters.
I mean, it doesn't matter because there's.
Why does that not matter?
Why does it matter? I mean, for one, okay,
it goes directly against your point.
No, it doesn't because it's still with the
stat chart. Your point was that he can't break the stat chart.
Yeah. Are you gonna let me respond or no?
Can you stop talking? You can respond. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay. The problem with this is that there's still a distinction because Nagamo, even within the verse, is pretty comparable to other characters. You'd agree, right?
No.
So he can just be like you don't think he's like comparable at all to any other characters? I mean, I haven't read Sakamoto Days.
I don't think you could name a character besides arguably Prime Sakamoto. That's
I mean,
comparable
sure.
to Nagamo. No. Maybe Oki, maybe Gaku.
mean, sure.
I don't think you could prove it.
I mean, sure. Hold on. For one, you said at first it's like the chart goes to 6. Like by the way, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
The highest shown finite value is what I said at the beginning.
Okay, but I mean that doesn't really matter. Like they say like it's like well balanced, like well fitted, like thing. Just because it like shades off. I mean, this is normal for like those kind of diamond charts. Like they kind of shave off a little bit from the top. Like that's how like they are. But I don't really want to like meta debate you on how fucking stat charts are meant to work. Like this doesn't disprove my point at all.
It
like
does.
in fact, like the. So why does it say at the bottom well balanced numbers? Like if anything, it's not because here's the thing, right?
Because the reason why it's saying well balanced is because his overall. It's saying he's a multiple trick pony. It's not saying that he's a one trick pony. That's the point of the statement.
I never said that. I never made that claim. I
didn't say you made that claim. I'm explaining why they're saying that he's a well-rounder.
The point that I'm trying to make here is that this character is still comparable to other characters, while like Takamura is not. Like you can say that the reason why he breaks it here is because he's the pinnacle of his respective stats, like relative to the verse, while he's still being comparable. But Takamura is like no, he's just a lot stronger.
Well, I think that Nagamo isn't comparable yet. He's literally shown here, and we literally see quantifiers for people that are also like incomparable to the rest of the verse, besides like Takamura.
Does Nagamo not fight other characters like they kind of go blow for blow, but like hand to hand?
Well, he fights Gaku, but he's very obviously holding back against Gaku. Oki's also probably something which is unknown, so we can't really make much of a point on that. And Oki isn't even quantified in the stat chart. I'm just answering your question, sorry. And Prime Sakamoto is also pretty incomparable to the rest of the verse, besides Sakamura, maybe.
Do you think someone like Nagamo, like even when he's fighting Gaku, and you're quote unquote saying he's holding back or some bullshit like that, do you think that all of a sudden means that he's like so far like incomparable to him, like so far like above him, like he can just blitz him and insta kill him?
He literally puts like 16 swords in this guy's chest without taking a single scratch after fighting him for a little bit. I genuinely think he's way above him. I don't think they're comparable at all.
What do you think comparable means here?
Comparable would mean some relativity, like you're able to react to my attacks, because we're talking about relativity and comparability in combat. You're able to respond to my attacks, defend against them, react to them, all that good stuff. But in this case, if you're literally getting stabbed 16 times and you don't damage Nagamo once, and you just get put on the floor slugged on your deathbed, then I do not think you're comparable as a fighter to the other person.
Bro, show me the panels, bro.
Yeah, sure, I'll show you the panels. I got you. Line up in my game. What the fuck? How do you jump up that high? This guy's literally jumping in this space. I'm looking for panels while I'm talking to you, don't worry. Holy shit.
Because here's the thing, a lot of these characters have 6s, correct?
Yes,
like,
they do. I wouldn't say a lot, but there's definitely a few.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why like it's still within the realm of comparison. Even if you want to use this like idea that because he's a
It's
6
kind of
or something like that.
arbitrary,
Because
though. What do you mean it's within the realm of comparison?
Because if you're saying that like Nagumo is like this complete distinct thing where he breaks the chart, yeah, a lot of these other characters like also have
I
this
didn't say it was
convention of being a
no,
six.
you're missing the
Let me
point. I'm not
finish.
saying he's
Holy shit!
distinct.
Shut the fuck.
You already
Why are you
misunderstood my
talking?
argument. No, you're already
Why are you
strawmanning my
talking?
argument. Hold on.
That's my
No,
claim.
you're
That's not your claim.
misunderstanding.
That's my
No,
claim.
you're
Why
misunderstanding
are
the
you
argument.
still
Let me explain
talking?
it.
Why
No,
are you
I'm
still
not saying he's
talking? Let me finish.
incomparable to the rest of the verse. I'm saying he breaks the stat chart. You're specifically
That's not-
trying to
that's
tell
not my
me
claim.
that the issue
That's-
is with. No, you're trying to tell
That's
me
not
that
my claim. That's not
Takamura
my
is shown
claim.
with the
That's not
infinites
my claim.
because
That's
he
not my
breaks
claim.
the
That's not my
perimeters
fucking claim,
and the
retard.
actual
That's not my claim.
limits of
That's
the
not
stat
my
chart.
claim.
But Nagumo also does that.
Yo, can this guy
That's
stop
literally your
talking?
claim.
hold
This
on,
is what
yo,
you've said
hold on,
earlier.
hold on.
Yo, why is he still going, bro? It's this, like, it's the autism.
Stop. Who is moderating this shit? Who is moderating it?
Nobody's
Hold on,
nobody's
no,
moderating it, but like,
no, no,
This shit needs to be moderated, bro. I can't lie. I'm gonna mute you, but you guys gotta
Okay.
chill. Like it's just constant.
bro, like,
this chat.
holy fuck, dude. Like, the guy's like, he cut me off, said that I strawmanned him, and then didn't even explain, like, finish my point.
Okay. Well, Zizou, just clarify, and then continue.
My point here is that this whole idea that like, Nagumo is like breaking the chart is retarded because it's super conceivable for a lot of these characters to clearly be quantified like on a scale of 6. So clearly like this scale goes by 6 just because it shades a little bit over like the actual like chart thingy, which is normal in a lot of these like actual diagram charts anyway.
Why can't they do
Just
the
because
same
it
with
does-
Takamura then?
I told you it's because he's a lot stronger than a lot of these characters, but it doesn't prove it's a quantifier.
You
yet
would just
to prove
break
that.
the diamond, then you would say he was a 17. What's the issue with that?
I already explained this like literally at the beginning of the debate. It's because if 17 can still be considered comparable to like a 6 or something like that, they want to just represent that Takamura is a lot stronger than him. And given that data books use a lot of hyperbolic, exaggeratory claims, I don't have an issue with interpreting
It's
this
just that it
as
can't
just
be
being
measured in numbers. You think the offer can measure this in numbers?
What?
Yes, the statement says that his power cannot be measured in numbers. Do you think it actually can't be measured in numbers? You don't think the offer
No,
could
I think
write down the
a
number
lot of these statements
106 or something?
I think a lot of these statements are just hyperbolic, and I'm explaining to you why I think this. Because I think every data book chart that uses this or any scale chart doesn't use actual fucking quantified numbers. Like that's
Okay,
retarded.
then name me an example of a hyperbolic statement which actually has some attribute where it's not an explicitly obvious wrong statement.
What are you talking about? Like that
Show me
begs the question.
any statement which
That
is
begs- that begs
hyperbolic,
the-
which we
that
will
begs
agree
the-
upon
that
being
begs-
hyperbolic, that
that
isn't
begs the
obviously wrong
question.
or has some contrasting evidence.
That begs the question.
That is
You're-
not
you're
begging
assuming
the
that you're-
question. I am using that as a justifier. You
Can I-
cannot put that
oh
into
my God.
question. What do you mean you
Can I
put that
explain-
into
can I-
question? How have you put
Yeah,
that into
can I-
question?
Yeah, can I explain to you why it begs the question?
Go ahead. How did you put that
yeah,
into question?
because-
What part did you put into
because-
question? And how does it beg the question?
Holy shit. Okay. The reason why this is a question bag is because there's a loaded assumption there in your question, which is that your interpretation is somehow not obviously false. And the reason why I have to bring that up is especially since out of that
I don't see
context
a
is because
motive to believe it's false.
I don't care what you think you see. Like that's still like in question, buddy. Like you still have yet to prove that. But one,
You want me to send
and
every
then
single
just-
Takamura panel? We can do that.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter because the point is that data books who use like extremely hyperbolic and like figurative language. The reason why it's not, the numbers here that thing doesn't matter here is because again, every number on the scale anyways is a symbolic value. So it's just saying that it can't be contained by like this preset symbolic values from 1 to 6. And given that it can't be, and that it has this infinity, it just shows that it's incomparable. Like, it being a 17 is redundant, retarded, and irrelevant because 17 would have to be defined by something. Just trying to show that it's
27 is also
incomparable.
incomparable. 27 is obviously much larger than 6.
You don't know that. You don't know what 27 means. It's a redundant value.
I don't know what 27 means. You don't think I could see that someone has a 27? They're clearly portrayed to
Like,
be
you
above
can
the other
say-
people
you can-
in the
you can
verse.
lit- you can
and I can't
literally-
tell
you
that he's obviously way above the other
Oh
people
my
in the
God.
verse. I need to see the number
okay.
infinity to do that.
Yeah, haram. You gotta chill with this shit, bro.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
bro. The problem with that is that this 27 thing you're using, even if you want to say that it means it's a lot stronger to the point where it's incomparable, it doesn't sell the job better than infinity. Because infinity, again, like by definition, analytically, infinity will never be comparable to any actual numerical finite value. It'll always be infinitely bigger than it. And that's why I'm saying that Dan here, the reason why it doesn't use 27 or 17 is because it wants to show that Takamura is so much incomparable compared to these characters. The issue is that all those are relative claims to the rest of the verse, not absolute claims about the fucking character's ontology. So like, if you're going to repeat yourself again, we can actually include in that. Do you have any response to it or like actual merit for me to believe why I think I should accept your claim? Because the thing about the chart breaking and shit like that. Wait, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So the thing about the chart breaking and stuff like that is redundant because I don't think the chart's literally breaking here because it shades a little bit off. It's still within the confines of the scale that the author has preset. Given that a lot of these characters can like go to 6 in a lot of these cases, guys who like to stand at the top of the verse go to 6. It's not like a chart breaking thing. It's because it shades a little. Like, I still need an argument. Like, I think that's pretty normal. A lot of these fucking charts, anyways. Like if you see them, so clearly, like I don't think your
breaks
argument
the
has
limits. I'm not saying it breaks the limits in comparison to the rest of the verse. That's not my claim. Okay, that's not
I never
something
said
you're
that.
not
I said it doesn't
understanding.
break. I said it doesn't break the chart. So like that's what I'm saying.
It breaks the diamond. It exceeds the diamond's parameters. If it
That-
exceeds the
that
diamond's
doesn't- that
parameters,
doesn't
then you can
mean it
do the
breaks-
same
that
thing with
doesn't mean it breaks-
Takamura and make it like a 27.
That-
Okay,
that
but hold on.
it doesn't break the
This
scale.
is more important. This is more important.
Oh my
Can you send
God.
me a single hyperbolic statement, real quick? Any statement you think is hyperbolic. I will literally show you why there is obviously a reason why that is hyperbolic, whereas with my thing, there is nothing which supports the idea that it's hyperbolic.
What? I just explained to you why, but okay. Like, why does that matter?
No, what you did is you showed me some examples. Okay, I explained why I don't think those examples are
I
analogous.
was giving you examples not to show you that like these are hyperbolic and why they're hyperbolic. I'm not meta debating on why they're hyperbolic. All I'm just doing you is that it's super common and reasonable within data books to use flowery language. Do you agree to that? Yes or no?
Super common. I don't know if it's super common, but I'm aware that this is done, and I have like knowledge of it.
Okay.
You're just being skeptical,
so-
right? You're just saying like since this is
I mean,
done, you
it's
don't
not-
know
it's
if
not
you
really-
should
it's
take
not-
it
it's
as
not
like a
really-
literal thing or a non-literal thing.
I mean, it's not even just about like bait. Like I mean, I guess you can say I'm being skeptical. But it's not obviously just baseless skepticism. Like I'm applying a lot of evidence for this and a lot
I
of
didn't
reasons
say
on
you're
why I
being
believe it.
baselessly skeptic. I just said you're being skeptic.
Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is that if we agree that data books often use hyperbolic and like flowery language,
I don't agree.
to, like,
It's often.
hype up their. I mean, it does like again, like we're just gonna get into debate. Like okay, like let's just say it does that, and then furthermore, all these other numbers are symbolic and not quantifiers. Why is infinity all of a sudden by itself a symbolic a quantifier? Sorry, can you justify
Maybe
that?
because
If
he
you're gonna
just
say the
has
same,
that level of power.
okay, let's conclude.
Maybe
bro.
the reason why he does, maybe the reason why it's inconsistent is because the guy is actually just not a part of the rest of the stats. He is not comparable to the other people because he actually has infinite power. You asking me why it's inconsistent? Maybe he doesn't consistently follow the trend of the rest of the verse.
Let's conclude, bro. Yeah, let's conclude.
Send me the hyperbolic statement. No, send me the hyperbolic statement. I'm waiting for the hyperbolic statement. Send it to me.
I told you it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect.
No,
my
it
point.
does matter. Send me it.
Okay, I don't have a hyperbolic claim. Can we conclude now?
Okay, so you made a claim earlier. I put it into question. Now you're not going to send it. Okay, that's fine. It
I
was
mean,
put into
that- I mean, that
question,
wasn't-
but you're not supporting it. That's fine. Dismissed.
I mean, okay, sure, yeah. Okay, what claim are we dismissing, by the way, just for clarity?
Yeah, so the claim that I'm dismissing is this idea that a bunch of times in data books, we see that there's flowery languages used for specific statements that say that this character has this specific capability or whatever, but they're obviously hyperbolic statements. It's just flowery language just to get across a specific point. But it's not something meant to be taken literally. However, I'm trying to say to you that any example that you would name would not actually do anything. But hold on, since you won't send me a hyperbolic statement, I'll send you a hyperbolic statement, and then we'll talk about
He's
it.
holding me hostage, bro. Please, let's conclude, bro.
Why are we going to conclude? I'm going to literally like say my point.
It doesn't matter because it doesn't affect the debate like at all.
It does. It literally does.
You win the point. You win the point or not, and you like prove that.
I don't care about winning the point. I want to drive my argument home.
Wait, your argument is literally just that. Because there's like a hyperbole can have something that contradicts it. Like that's how hyperboles work. You think it's a hyperbole statement because there's something that contradicts it. You can have that. It doesn't affect my
Also, I
point.
literally sent you the Nagamo scans. Are you going to contend that?
Yo, can you please conclude, bro?
We can, but I'm not going to. I'm going to send you my evidence.
Yo,
like I want
why are
to.
you holding me hostage, bro? Yo, he holding me
I'm
hostage.
not holding you
bro.
hostage. You can debate me if you want, or you can not debate me. I'm literally just giving you
Yo.
an argument.
Yo, please let me fucking, bro. The argument I already granted you the arguments that you want to have. Like that's
No,
fine.
it's fine.
Bro.
I'm just going to send you the evidence. I got you. Hold on.
Yo, bro, I already granted them.
Can you hold on? Does anyone have the Naruto data book? I want to grab a Tamari
Yo,
scan, like the whole
please,
universe
bro.
thing.
Yo, please,
Wait, no,
we get it, bro. I'm
Wait,
granting
Zizou,
you
stop
the
talking.
point.
Wait, Zizou, are you in any
I granted
Naruto
you the
scan
point. What do you
service?
want, bro?
No, I want to send you a hyperbolic statement. I'm gonna send you a
No,
hyperbolic
please,
statement.
conclude. Just conclude.
No, I'm gonna send him a hyperbolic statement. I don't care. I'm gonna send him a hyperbolic statement. Stop being a cheerleader. I want to send him a hyperbolic statement. Stop interfering.
Listen.
No,
No, I want to send him a hyperbolic statement. You're not involved in this. Stop talking.
Okay. You got your Tamari statement. Okay. You got your Tamari statement. Tamari.
Send it in scans,
You guys-
please. Also, I send you the
Okay,
Nagamo scans. Let's talk about that after. You asked me
No,
to
bro.
send
Can we
those.
just
You're not going
can
to
we just
contend that?
conclude, bro?
You're not going to contend that? That literally supports my argument.
They
You're
don't
not going to
aff-
contend
they don't
that?
affect, but the arguments that you're trying to support don't affect the debate at all, so they don't
No,
matter.
it literally
I ex-
does. It literally does, but go
I
ahead.
explained, I explained to you how it does. I already told you. Even if we grant you that
The
Nagamo's
fierce tornado that blows the entire universe away. Yeah, the reason why this is obvious. What? What do you want? Go ahead.
about the Nagamo shit. The reason why it doesn't matter doesn't fucking matter. The nigga poisoned me, bro. The reason why it doesn't matter is because even if I grant you Nagamo's a lot stronger than fucking Gaku, like by a massive margin, it doesn't affect the breaking the scale thing because I put that in the question already. Like I already explained to you how I don't think that's that it shaves over a little bit means that it's breaking the scale if it's defined from 1 to 6.
I didn't say it was breaking the scale. Why do you keep repeating that? Okay, let me tell you what my argument is.
That's why I'm telling
not
you it
saying
doesn't
it's breaking
matter.
the scale.
Oh my god, bro, it
It's
doesn't
not
matter.
breaking the scale. The point is that it literally is above the diamond. It's literally above it. It's not stuck within the perimeters.
doesn't matter.
And then it can go above the number 5 and you can keep going.
Dude,
if Takamura is way
dude.
above these guys, you can literally just say 100, and 100 is obviously far greater than
Dude,
6. What is the
dude,
issue
dude.
of that? What is the issue of that?
Dude.
No, what is the issue of that?
I already addressed this. Can we
No, you
conclude if, like,
didn't.
if
What
you-
was the issue of that? You didn't bring up an issue.
you can think that, but I literally did.
No,
Can
the
we
only
just
thing
do
you
it?
said is that infinity is obviously above the number 100. But if this thing already gets the
That's
point
not what I
across,
said. Okay,
why
if you-
exactly
if
do
you
we
think
need
I
the
said
number
that-
infinity to be a greater
Okay,
representation of
if
that?
you think I said that,
If anything,
if you think-
if anything, Zizou,
Yeah.
wouldn't you want better numerical accuracy with the numbers? Wouldn't you want that?
Yo, listen. If you think you won the point and like you think I didn't address anything, can we just conclude and
Alright,
win
so
the
you're
debate
not
and
gonna
move
address
on?
the point. You're just gonna act like you addressed anything. You addressed nothing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
sent you the
definitely, bro.
Nagamo scan. I'm explaining specifically
Yeah,
here
yeah,
that
definitely,
the
bro.
reason why
Yeah,
this
he's not
Tamari
going.
statement is obviously a hyperbole is because the universe is not actually blown away. We see that people are residing on the planet Earth. We see that
Yeah.
people are on,
Yeah.
this planet. They're walking around on grass and
Yo,
shit. They're
bro.
on this
Yo,
environment,
bro.
and we
Bro,
don't see that
haram,
they're just
haram.
in the empty void of space. So obviously, Tamari didn't literally
Wow.
blow the universe away, and we would probably
Wow.
expect to see that the universe is blown
Wow.
away had this thing happened.
Wow.
Wow, yeah,
Very
obviously
good,
a
very
hyperbolic
great.
statement. Now, where is the
Wow.
hyperbolic statement when we're talking about Takamura? That does not exist.
Wow. Okay, can you conclude now, please?
Okay, do you agree that it's like possible for your character to lose?
It's possible for my character to lose. Can you conclude on the previous point? Like what the fuck is this new shit,
No, this
bro?
is literally all of my scaling.
Okay, it's like, oh, there's the potential like for your character to win because like it's infinite and all this bullshit, right?
Yeah, infinite potential abilities. I think Takamura
Okay, sure,
has
yeah,
the
sure.
potential to do anything.
If
So he has the
you're
potential
arguing,
to beat your
I get
character.
it, dude, I get it. If your argument goes through, then you win. Okay, like that's literally all there. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Can you please conclude now, please?
Do you want to scale
Instead
your
of holding me
character?
hostage.
Or you just want to end here?
Can you conclude? Can we conclude on the first point? Like, okay,
No, we can
if you
conclude,
lose,
but do you want to scale your character?
okay. I mean, my scale is. I mean, can we just agree that if you lose the point, you lose the debate? Like, seriously, because you have no fucking scale after that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. I think if your scale doesn't go through, then Shiva has an unpredictable war end, so like a martial art master can predict, and I think because of that, like, your character loses. But can you conclude on our previous point, though, please? Like, can you stop holding me
We can
hostage?
talk about the other thing. Sure. I'm not going to say we're going to like drop the previous thing. That's not what
I'm not saying we're dropping it. I'm just saying we're concluding it, and then we're just moving on to the next for the
You can
judge.
talk about your point, talk about your scaling. Go ahead.
Are we just not going to answer my question? Can you conclude?
You're not understanding what I'm saying. We're going to talk about the other thing. If I want to talk about the previous thing, then I'll bring it up again. Go ahead.
Can you
Go
please
ahead.
conclude?
I'm not doing conclusive statements after every single point. Literally just talk about the next part of your scaling.
Okay. So Shiva, basically, he has like this really cool dance where he like, starts like doing a Fortnite emote, and he just perfectly counters you because like it's aligned with like the rhythm of the cosmos, and like one of the best martial artists in the verse. I couldn't read it. So
Okay, quantify that. Why does that mean that your
What do you
character will
want?
likely be mine?
I mean, assuming that your character has no fucking scaling, he's just like an old man. Like that's all I'm
Why
assuming.
does my character have no scaling?
Because if your scale didn't go through, you didn't give anything. What?
No, that's an argument from ignorance. Even if my argument doesn't go through, it wouldn't mean that my character doesn't actually have any scaling. So why
I'm saying that
exactly?
you didn't- Dude, what?
Why exactly should we take this belief that your character is likely above mine?
What? I mean, I'm just saying, like, if a character is like defined to be a master and the other one's not defined to be a master, like, wouldn't you say that it's more likely that my character?
Who says that Takamura isn't defined to be a master? What makes you think that?
I mean, I'm not aware of any statements. So I'm assuming.
You're not aware of any statements. So yet again, another
like,
argument
Can
for
you find me?
ignorance.
No, I'm
ignorance.
saying that. I'm saying that I have no reason or motivation to believe it. Like, it's not like I'm saying that it's absolutely the case that he's not called a master. It's impossible to be called a master. I'm saying I don't have a reason.
Okay, so why is your lack of motivation any like relevant to like this debate? Like, why should we care
I
about
mean,
your lack of
yeah.
motivation?
Why is he trying to better debate me, bro? Are we trolling? Listen, haram, bro. The reason why we care about motivate, I'm not. I mean, it's not like my personal belief. I'm just saying, like, oh, if one character has, I'm also extending this to you. I'm just saying, like, if one character doesn't have any statements supporting, like, or founding him, like, with this narrative that he's a martial arts master, and the other is, wouldn't you say that it's more reasonable to believe the guy who's called a martial arts master is better than the guy who's not called a martial arts master?
Like a higher assertion argument? Okay, sure, that's fine. That makes it more probable.
Okay, so like, why the fuck were you hassling me for? So can we like, so are you
Because
fine with that?
you
or
weren't
no?
phrasing it correctly. I'm actually fine with this argument, but I'm not fine with the way you phrased it before.
Okay, so can we agree then that if I win the point, like, I mean, if I lose the point, you win the scale, and if you don't, like, because of my skill.
No, you just have to make yours more likely to be above mine, or just scale it above
Did I
mine.
not, did I not just do that? Like, what?
No, I know what you're doing, but I'm not gonna say like, oh, if you win 1 point, you automatically win the whole debate. No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying the whole debate hinges on a really important point, which is your entire scaling. If you don't have that scaling, and you have
I can
nothing
always
to
bring
show
up
that he's a
another
master.
point. Okay, so can you just quantify the actual level of power that these martial arts masters have in verse?
What do you mean? What do you mean the levels of power? Like, what are you talking about?
Power, like how proficient they are at their martial arts.
It's stated they're performing at the highest levels, like they're refining it to the utmost limit. Like,
Highest
on
level
that,
of like human, martial arts or what?
I mean, like the human like martial arts, I'd assume that, like, it's kind of implied they go beyond that, but like they say like it's the utmost limit, and, like the highest form. Don't you think that's enough already? Like,
It's beyond human martial arts, beyond the highest form of humans. I don't like. Why should I believe that that's even possible?
what's
I
the
can agree
logical
that you're more
contradiction?
powerful. I don't know if I would agree that it's possible for you to just be
What's the logic?
completely above human martial arts. I don't know if that's
What's
even
the logical?
possible.
What's the logical contradiction?
The logical contradiction.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was being skeptic, I wasn't saying that there is a
Okay,
contradiction.
so
But if you want me to bring it
the-
up, then what I'll just bring up is if you typically
Okay.
see that human beings have already explored the depths of their bodies, what their bodies are capable of, they understand physics, how to swing at this level of power or whatever, then from our limited human knowledge, we can come to this conclusion that we probably have this understanding of what exactly is the best way of fighting with martial arts. For you to say that
Okay.
this verse has another level of martial arts, which is beyond regular life martial arts, I don't see any reason why I ought to believe that.
I see. So what you're saying is like you're saying because like you're skepticized. It's probably possible like that martial arts are probably limited, right? that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
maybe the offer wants to say that the martial arts are really
Oh,
crazy,
so
but that
like
doesn't seem to correspond with the facts of
I
real
see,
life.
I see, I
So
see,
maybe
I
his
see.
perception. Stop.
Hold on.
I'm trying to talk. Why are you spragging? Why are you spragging?
Because I'm a little bit confused. It's one more clarifying question.
What's
So
your
you're saying that
question?
like because you're obviously asking me like whether it's possible or not, like because you don't know if it's possible that martial arts like are like these kind of like limitless things, but you probably think it's like more likely it's limited, right? Martial arts are limited, right? Like that's kind of like what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh shit! So like you just conceded on your entire skill of it being infinite, retard. Nice one.
No. Human beings can have limited martial arts, sure, but infinite potency of martial arts, that's not to say that there's infinite skill. No, obviously there's a level of skill which is finite. However, if you were to say that your martial arts is at a specific level, I think part of your martial arts is the potency behind your attacks. So infinite attack potency, obviously that's going to correlate to the whole point. What's the response? What's the response? What's the response?
Yeah, explain to. Okay, so is Takamura not a human or not? Like you don't think Takamura's a human?
I don't know what Takamura is.
Okay, you don't know. Okay, that's fine. And you're saying that like, oh, there's infinite potency, even though you said it's like impossible for it. You understand that
I didn't say that it was. When did I say
possibility.
it was impossible for infinite potency with attack potency? I'm
That's
talking about
literally
attack
what
potency. I am not talking about the
you're asking
refinement
if
of your
it's
martial
possible.
arts.
You just conceded, bro. You said.
I did not say earlier in this debate that your martial arts can actually have infinite skill. That doesn't make any sense. What I said is that your martial arts can be infinite in their potency because part of martial arts is your attack potency, how hard you hit. So if you have infinite attack potency, that would be a method in which you could have infinite martial arts stats for a specific stat chart.
Yo, what happened to equal stats, bro? What do you mean infinite potency, bro? What happened to equal stats?
Equal stats at the start, but if you check the rules, there's nothing against like an ability giving you this like ability
No,
to be at that level of power.
No,
You can check. There's nothing that goes
that's
against like
not.
you
What are
potentially having
talking
some ability
about,
which
bro?
amplifies your stats to that specific level.
No,
And beyond that, if you wanted to say that your
Equal
character
stats, bro.
and mine are just going to be
Equal
equal
stats.
due to the rules or
Hey,
whatever, when it's
hey,
not
Rom,
stated
Rom,
in the
Rom,
rules.
it's
Will,
equal
can you stop?
stats.
Will, can you
Rom,
stop
it's
talking?
equal
Are you the mod? Are you the judge? Like,
stats.
why are you
I am
talking so
not.
much?
I am not.
Yo,
Hey,
DQ
actually,
is the
You are
last one.
not the
DQ him,
mod.
bro. DQ, he's cheated, bro. Yo, Jester, please,
hey,
DQ is the last thing.
No, Zizou. Hey, Rom, matter of fact, I am the fucking judge. It's equal
Yo,
stats.
DQ him, bro. DQ him.
Bro,
Yo,
bro, he
DQ this
literally
nigga,
he
but he
said that
cheated, bro.
earlier in the debate, bro.
That
Bro,
doesn't
nobody
matter.
caught it. He said
You
that
can
shit
say it's
earlier,
equal
bro.
stats martial arts, but if you
Nobody
check the
caught it.
rules, there's nothing that says that your stats
Yo,
can't grow in the middle of the fight.
no,
No, it
Yeah,
cannot.
but
That's
what?
against
It's equal.
the
I
rules.
can just
Yeah,
ask
it's not
Jester.
equal.
No,
Yeah,
it's fine. I can just
DQ him,
ask
bro.
Jester. I can ask Jester. If he doesn't want that, I could still make an argument. I don't give a shit.
Wait, what? Wait, what are you talking? What the fuck? Yeah, Jester, can you just mic up right now?
Jester just said DQ. Let me see what Jester's gonna say, because that's just not in the rules he said.
Oh shit. Yep. So okay. Yeah, Jester.
Martial arts only. Conventional weapons are allowed. No projectiles. No conceptual attacks. No outrageously large characters. No composite characters. All boos are bans. No squash and stretch characters or any sort of anatomy that makes it impossible to be physically damaged.
Bottom.
Equal
Agree with
stats,
that
martial arts only. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here that goes against my point. I'm not even saying that Takamura is going to have infinite stats. The version of Takamura that I signed up with, by the way, is literally just bloodlusted, understanding the rules Takamura. That's the version of Takamura that I used.
Can we like just fucking like get a clarification from the like obviously the judge is saying in chat that's not equal
Disqualified?
stats.
So should I just change it to like, okay, my character just has like equal martial arts or better martial arts to you, as long as it's possible for my martial arts to be better, or it's possible for my character to be more intelligent than your character. So even if the martial arts are equivalent, I'm just gonna beat yours.
We understand the justification for it was that it was limitless earlier. If you're conceding it's limitless now, your skill doesn't go through. You just concede on your entire skill.
I'm not conceding that it's limitless. I'm saying that my character specifically is gonna abide under the rules of this tournament. That's the version of Takamura I signed up with.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, it's literally a version of Takamura that understands that he's fucking fighting in a Discord debate tournament, and he's gonna do these rules. No, that's literally what I signed up with. I don't give a shit. He's gonna win. He's gonna beat the fuck out of your character. He's gonna bitch your character.
Relax. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the martial arts thing. Because you tried to change the attack potency. I'm saying that if you're trying to say that he has limitless potential with his martial arts, but you conceded that martial arts are inherently limited by
finite power. The finite potency with the martial arts exceeds your martial arts.
Chill, let me finish. But the issue is that you can't change it to that because you said the potency of martial arts are limited by your own framework. So clearly the infinite potential thing has to refer to something else, or else you contradict yourself according to your own framework. That's the problem.
That wouldn't be a contradiction. My character can have these capabilities, but the issue is, if it's a hypothetical version of this character, he can have these capabilities, but he's not going to use them because he understands that he's in a Discord debate tournament, and he can't make himself swing at the AP of like a mound because he'll get disqualified.
Yeah, he's not tracking, right? He's not. The problem again. It's not about the rules of the Discord debate. I've never brought that up once. I'm not talking about his attack potency at all. I've never even brought that up once. I'm saying according to your own scan can't mean what it said, because it contradicts your own framework. And I'm not talking about the Discord debate framework. I'm talking about you literally saying that it's not limitless and it's like impossible for it not to be limitless. And I asked this question to clarify this for you because I knew you were going to say that and you fell for my fucking genjutsu. The problem is that if that's the case, then the statement of it being literally infinite has to be wrong and my interpretation has to be correct. Your skill doesn't go through. You concede on your own skill.
Well, no, that wasn't a concession because the version of Takamura I signed up with is a version of Takamura that's aware that like he's in a Discord debate tournament, he breaks the fourth wall. What's going to happen is, okay, so originally he had these infinite stats. Since Jester just changed the rules in the middle of this debate, yeah, he's going to limit his stats, but you know, he's going to have equal stats to you, but he's going to be smart enough and be good enough at martial arts to just defeat you in combat. So your character Akira's just gonna lose. Wait, your character's Akira, right? What even is your character?
This nigga not tracking, bro. It's fucking Shiva, bro. Can we
Shiva. I don't even remember like what fucking character I'm debating against. Holy shit.
Bro. Please let us track, bro. Bro, please let's conclude, bro. You conclude.
Can you give me a counter argument? Like, hello?
I already gave you the counter argument.
What was the counter argument? I just hedged my argument.
I already explained it to you. Can you please?
No, you
conclude?
can give a counter, but if I give a hedge, like what exactly is the point of you giving a counter?
If you think I didn't counter it, then you think you won. Can we just conclude?
How did you counter it?
I already told you. Like, I already explained it to you like 3 times. Like, can you please conclude?
Hold on 1 second. Why is it possible for you to give a counter to my argument?
You think it's impossible to give counters
No, I asked a question. I didn't say it's impossible.
because you claim so you couldn't counter my points or what?
No,
can
I
you
said,
just
why is
conclude,
it
bro?
possible
Yo.
for you specifically, Zizou, to give a counter to Haram SpongeBob's Discord argument?
Okay, let's just conclude, bro.
No, but that's necessary
Yeah,
for you to actually win this
this is-
debate. Why is it possible? Go ahead. Just
Yeah,
start.
It's
No.
conclude. No, it's time to conclude.
Like, holy shit, let's
it's
conclude,
time
bro.
to conclude.
Wait,
And
this
yeah,
is
I am
biased.
Mark.
This is
No,
biased.
no, no.
He's not
You're
addressing my
not.
point.
out.
It's
He's
not.
saying let's
You're
conclude
memeing
the
out.
moment this guy can respond to my argument. Like, what's
It's
happening?
You're
not
memeing out,
biased.
bro.
Just conclude, bro.
Yeah, gestures.
Yeah, Jester said you're DQ'd, so yeah, it's over. So,
How am I
mean, you can-
disqualified? What? I literally.
Yeah, I'm
No, I can
saying
literally
like,
show you the
bro,
ticket.
bro.
I actually didn't even use a character like that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like holy shit, bro. Like